We're at the launch of the Adelaide Smart City Studio, and this is an incredible opportunity for the future of Adelaide. The space itself serves three key functions. First, it's an exhibition space, a showcase of the sorts of technologies and opportunities that are possible. The second is as a collaboration space where people can come together and define projects and create new opportunities. So it's a very creative environment. And the third function is as an event space. We can use the telepresence to bring people from elsewhere around the world or around Adelaide, sharing their information and knowledge, and we can share our information with them.
Well, I represent Flinders University's New Venture Institute today. We've got a really big pool of entrepreneurs with new ideas, and we'd love to see them here displaying their technologies.
Look, I think the Adelaide Smart City Studio is an amazing initiative of the Adelaide City Council and Department of State Development, obviously along with Cisco. And I think it's got huge potential to really support the innovation ecosystem in South Australia.
We're one of those entrepreneurial small companies, and we have some revolutionary technology that's been invented here in Adelaide, and we just love to showcase it here for other small startups to use.
The Adelaide Smart City Studio is here to create opportunities, to identify opportunities, and to give a pathway for people to create new applications, new technologies and new services that will define what a smart city is.
We've been there, powering devices for 20 years, making the difficult look easy, and keeping life simple, taking you away and guiding you home, providing care and bringing new life into the world. Opportunity is all around us.
It is an extreme pleasure for us to be able to host the IoT Hackathon at the Adelaide Smart City Studio, which is something that's a very new facility here, and it exists to support innovation in the Internet of Things and in the development of smart city products and services. I'd like to note that recognise that we meet tonight and we hack tomorrow on the lands of the Kaurna people, and that we respect their relationship with the land, and their elders past and present. I'm really excited about what you guys are going to do through this hackathon and really looking forward to the outcome of it, so I'm going to watch with great interest. I'd like to talk just briefly about the studio. We've established this as part of a broader strategy. There's a number of pilot projects that are already running in Adelaide that are taking us on a journey towards becoming a smart city. There's a whole lot of things that governments and councils can do to identify opportunities and run pilot projects, and if they work out, to roll those sorts of things out to the broader community. What's different in Adelaide, and it's one of the few places in the world where we are actually saying we're not always going to be the ones that know where to innovate. So the Smart City Studio is all about inviting people in and saying, tell us what you would like to do and how can we support it. Adelaide City Council and the state government are looking at ways that we can provide access to city infrastructure that will allow you to put sensors out there, test and trial new products and services. And the studio is basically the heartbeat of that. It's intended to provide a real focal point for that sort of innovation. So we'll be working with partners at a multinational, national level to provide the landscape for that to happen, and we'll be working from the grassroots up, from the hacker community through to local businesses to create those opportunities and to capitalise on them. So I'd also really like to thank both Microsoft and IBM for co-sponsoring this event. I think they've spoken with such enthusiasm. They've joined the fold in order to be able to make sure that this happens, and I think that That gives us greater visibility, but it also means that we will develop strong relationships with those sorts of partners into the future. So at this point, I'd like to introduce David Norris from IBM to talk a little bit more about what they're doing in the IoT space. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Dave Norris. I'm actually here with my colleague Kathy McGurk, who I'm going to get up to speak to you for a couple of minutes about the programs that she is running. Very, very happy to be here and to work with you in the hackathon. Given the limited amount of time that you all have to actually come up with some great ideas, one of the things that I guess it's a bit hard, especially with IoT and talking about Internet of Things, rather than focusing on the thing and programming the thing, maybe we should focus on the Internet. And this is where IBM has their Bluemix platform and the IoT platform component of that, which will allow you to very quickly get connected and send information up into the IBM Bluemix cloud platform, and then you can use various APIs to manipulate the data, massage the data, and come up with some interesting ways of using the data. One of the things that we've actually been doing is we've actually harnessed our Watson technology. Some of you might remember Watson was the computer that played Jeopardy and won. Well, Watson's been a lot busier and has stopped playing games and is being used in all manner of things, and in particular Watson is able to be used to churn through reams and reams and reams of data and come up with really interesting relationships and hypotheses and ideas for commercial clients in the IoT space. So I'm actually from the IoT Watson business unit, and so I assist clients in applying Bluemix and the IoT platform to their Internet of Things projects. To actually demonstrate this, I've actually got a very quick demo that we can do. What I'll do is I'll actually show you the page for Bluemix. Tomorrow, hopefully, some of you might like to actually try Bluemix out. You register for Bluemix, you get a 30-day trial, and you can play with the applications and the APIs and use that to come up with some interesting ideas. But also, I'll show you a very, very, very quick demo of how you can actually connect a device up into the IoT platform and get information up and into Bluemix pretty much straight away. Now, for this demo, I'm going to need a volunteer with a smartphone. Does anyone here? Can I just point out, people say to me, oh, is this one of the new Blackberries? No, it's a 1998 Nokia. So no, I don't have a smartphone, and yet I actually work in the Watson IoT business unit. So I'm a shame. I'm the people they don't talk about. That's right. Yeah. So can I have a volunteer from the audience? Does anyone here would like to volunteer? Excellent. Yep. Come on. Come on down. Okay. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually jump onto the laptop over here, and I'm going to actually show the platform, show what we're going to do, and then I'll actually jump in, and we have a demo where what I will do is I'll actually fire up our IoT platform. I will then come up with a name of a device. And using one of the smartphones here, we will actually very, very quickly register the device using a web page. And then what we'll do is we'll actually get the device data, such as accelerometer data and camera data and various things like that, up and into our very basic application and display it on some dashboards. And all of that is very, very quick and easy to do, hopefully. So let's see how we go. Yep, that is the page. Okay. So if you look on the screen, this is actually Bluemix. So tomorrow when you go in and try out Bluemix, you go to bluemix.net. And in bluemix.net, what you will see... Nope, I'm getting the microphone jammed in my face here. So what you will see is on Bluemix, up the top here is where you sign up, and that will start your 30-day trial. When you actually go in to Bluemix, you'll notice that you have the ability to create runtimes and containers and servers. All of this is on open technology. So I would suggest that tomorrow you would create an application, and if you prefer Ruby or Node or Java or Python, or if you are used to using your own build pack in a cloud service, you can bring your own build pack as well if you'd like. And that will actually then allow you to crank up an application. If you prefer a full-blown container, then you can choose from one of the Docker containers that we've got there and build your solution based on a Docker container. We also have full-blown VMs there, and you can use those if you so desire, and you can mix and match between them all. As well as that, we have an extensive catalogue of services and APIs. If I actually show you now, zoom in on the catalogue. So as you can see here, we actually provide a bunch of IBM services. We also provide third-party services, and we also have open services and open source and free services. So the catalogue is ever expanding, and basically this is available to you, and each one of these is available. So you can see there is a huge amount of Watson APIs allowing you to do things like automatic natural language interpretation. You can do translation. You can do sentiment analysis and personality insights. One of the really interesting things that they did with Watson's Vision API is they fed a whole lot of pictures of children with their ages into Watson, and then asked Watson to go through a bunch of unknown pictures, and it went through and picked the children and estimated their ages and did an exceptionally good job of that. So these are the sort of things you can do, and you can imagine when you've got the ability for Watson to go in and analyse vision in that way. I mean, that's a fairly sort of quick and easy thing to do, but imagine if you're looking at, say, cracks or stresses or things like that, or in particular in the medical world, we have medical images, and having Watson able to analyse those images and detect things that a human might miss, and do it very, very, very quickly indeed. So as you can see, there is an awful lot of technology there and services available. You've got services to deploy your application, you've got web-based services, you've got data services and network services. So I'll leave you to actually play a bit with that tomorrow, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick over to the IoT platform. Now this is how the IoT platform works in a Bluemix world, and in fact in most of the worlds. So what we've got is a device of some sort. Now we are completely device agnostic, and one of the things that we have on our Bluemix is we have what we call recipes, and recipes are contributed by the community, and anyone who has a device of any type who figured out how to connect it up to the Bluemix platform puts up a recipe and says, here's how you do it, here's step by step. Or anyone who actually says, oh, I've got a neat little bit of a solution that I put together, they actually put their recipe up step by step. So if, for instance, you want to take location data from a device and put it onto a map without any code, there's a recipe for showing you how to do that. If you want to analyze time series data of temperature or anything, again, there's a recipe for that as well. So if I go through, I've lost my, there we go, thank you. So what we have is we have our device. We typically use the MQTT protocol or HTTP, and the IoT platform in Bluemix offers a secure connection between your device and the platform itself. And then once you get the data into the platform, you can then analyze it using the various APIs and services I showed you before, and then present that in your application. So that's basically the flow that you work through. So now if I actually go to the application, so if we roll down here, this is the platform, the application you can play with. You can see here that we've actually got the ability to hook up your smartphone. Anyone who has one of the Texas Instruments sensor tags can get sensor data very quickly. We've got an example of an ARM. We also have Raspberry Pi, Intel Edison, Galileo, and any other device. So these devices can all be hooked up in this example. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to pick the smartphone. Whoops. Okay, and let's... Okay, Smart City, there we go. So what I've done is I've given it a name of the device. This is the name that will come up in the IoT platform when the device is connected. Okay, so what we've now got is we've got a QR code up the top there, or a URL, and what I'll do is I'll get these folks to actually scan that. Beautiful. So what this will do is this will actually set up the URL. And lo and behold, there we go. Right, so now what you can see here is we actually now have, so the web page is now transmitting via MQTT. It's transmitting the accelerometer data from the phone, and it is a little bit slow at the moment, but it is moving around. I actually think it's this wireless connection over here. All right, so what we've got basically here is we've got the data being sent in real time. So you can see the data coming across in real time. Yes, no, it hasn't detected it's detected a generic phone, not an iPhone as such. Yeah. So if we actually go back to the page again. Oh, thank you. Now what you can see is we've got the accelerometer as well as the gyros working. If you give that phone a really rapid shake, so what you can see, if you look, can you see the actual, the rule changing now to bottom? There's a tick. You're within your acceleration limit. Now if you give it a shake, so what we've done is we've programmed a rule in to say if you go over a certain number of G's or a certain number of meters per second down the bottom there, as you can see, alert me if the acceleration is this much, then throw up an alert or an alarm. So that's a very simple example of taking real-time IoT data up into an application. This app actually is running on a Node.js. It's a Node.js application. The source code is available to you if you want to actually see the code and see how it works and see this actual app that's been built. When you log in and join your Bluemix account, you can grab the code, edit the code, and start playing from this if you so desire. Now, this is actually a really simple example. The moment that web page is shut on the phone, this device will disconnect and it won't remember that device. When you actually go in and create a Bluemix account and join the IoT platform, you go through a similar process like this to connect your device, and it will then be connected in a more permanent way, and it will give you a secure tag so that the data then is secured between the device and your Bluemix applications. And so that means then that for a hackathon that lasts only a day, this is a really good way to actually be able to supply some demo data into your ideas in a really, really fast and easy way. So I hope that you'll actually take a chance to play on the Bluemix platform there. I'm going to introduce Kathy very quickly to talk a little bit about the entrepreneurship program that we offer, and then I'll hand over after that.
Promise to be quick. Thanks, David. Yes, my name's Kathy, and I have the coolest job in IBM, because not only do I get to play with cool technology, I get to help startups, academics, entrepreneurs take that cool idea to market through our Global Entrepreneur Program. So I get to combine my passion for business with my passion for technology. How lucky am I? It's really awesome. So I would love to hang out here with you guys tomorrow and see the amazing ideas you have come up with. I'm sure you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, ding, I've had this awesome idea. So I'd love to watch what you're doing, have a look at what you're doing, have a chat with you, and see how we can help you take that from an idea to a reality. So that would be very cool. We're also thrilled, because we all play nicely together, to be here with Microsoft. So I'm going to hand over to Liam, who is somewhere.
I'm here.
He's here. Hi, Liam. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Hi.
good to meet you too. Right. Okay. There you go. All right. Well, I won't be as long. It's Friday night. You'll want banter and some wine. As I've been introduced, my name's Liam, and I'm program manager of the Microsoft Innovation Centre, which is about 200 metres down the road there. I guess it's a really interesting time to be alive in terms of the fact that we're moving into this kind of digital age. We've sort of come through the Industrial Revolution and this connected world of electronic devices, and now we're coming through this sort of digital transformation age, and we're really at the top of the wave on it. It's really interesting, the idea that that my smart devices one day will be able to preempt my heart attack. Well, I hope I don't have a heart attack, but if I do, I'm going to be happy. Hope. I don't know. Because hopefully an ambulance will come before I actually have that. And that's really the power of a digitally transformed world of connected devices that can intelligently communicate with one another. And I think the Microsoft Innovation Centre of South Australia is a very strange place, because it kind of came out of an initiative in the public sector that's now trying to find its own identity within the state. And I think it's doing a very good job at combining into the core business model of Microsoft Australia, which is, how does Microsoft differentiate itself in this very crowded cloud and IoT market? And it's a really interesting job, because I get to really try and define what Microsoft's relationship actually is with the customers in this market, and it's really exciting. And essentially how Microsoft is differentiating itself from a relationship standpoint. What we're seeing is that we're turning more into sort of like an infrastructure company like Telstra. You got Telstra, it's got the pipes, and we want to be like the cloud pumps that push that data around. And when you're in the stage of business development where you're relying on the infrastructure as a service component of our business, it's not very sticky. If you want to spin up some VMs over there, you can spin up some VMs over there. You're quite agnostic. So what is the part of this area of business growth that really creates the sort of the loyalty and the want to work with each other? And I think that really comes in the relationship and the values that you share with each other. And at the Microsoft Innovation Centre, I think one of the big things that we're pushing is that we've got such a legacy in enterprise IT and a very deep relationship on a day-to-day basis with our customers. And one of the things that our customers are telling us that they just want to see is that their R&D spend in large corporations isn't actually correlating to innovation anymore. And you've got these very innovative people that attend hackathons, that start new businesses up, and our customers just really want to meet those sorts of people. So I think the way that Microsoft is positioning itself in this space is really a facilitator, a vision sharer, and a connector. And I think that's really what Microsoft Innovation Centre South Australia is doing. And I think we're really trying to lead the new Windows 10 era. We're kind of coming out of the mobile phone era that we made some terrible bets in. And we're coming into this sort of ubiquitous platform of Windows 10 that we want to move across all devices and really be the facilitator of those intelligent relationships between hardware. So really, really excited that Adelaide is becoming a lighthouse city for this sort of stuff. And take advantage of the fact that there's a very, very strange part of Microsoft still germinating and ready to grow with you guys in South Australia, as distinct from anywhere else in the world. Really happy to be on board with you guys and see you guys tomorrow. And would love to work together. So thanks a lot.
We're just going to hand over to Fee from the Really Big Road Trip to give us some interesting insights.
A somewhat slightly different view. Have you got the PowerPoint? PowerPoint. I can't believe I'm using PowerPoint. Good grief. So I've been working in creative technology for 20 years now, and I came to that space as an artist who was interested in what the opportunities were in a kind of utopian democratic potential of the internet that we all hoped that it, or some of us hoped that it would be, from way back then. So over the last few years, I've very much transitioned across. So really, I just wanted to give you a few kind of tasters that bring us back to the theme of the program. Thank you very much. Are we bringing it through? Okay. So the theme of the whole program is make something that matters. And while on the one hand we're looking at this from a very much kind of the commercial, the business opportunities, there's also the whole thing about, well, what actually matters? So the first start, we started looking at Internet of Things as very much does your fridge have any milk? And that's pretty much all that anybody was ever saying about it. And thankfully, we've moved on quite a lot from that. But we've essentially moved into a space that has some negativities around it. So this is a link from a quote from Bruce Sterling, who recently published an essay called The Epic Struggle of the Internet of Things. And unfortunately, the URL's dropped off the bottom, but I can give it to you if you're interested. So essentially what Bruce is talking about is that we're essentially in this age of digital feudalism if we're not careful. We watched enclosure take place a very long time ago, which removed our individual rights to land and the waterways and our property. And so essentially what we're looking at the moment is the 5 core platforms, which includes Microsoft. Doesn't include IBM or Cisco at the moment. But yeah, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, I've forgotten what the other ones are now. Anyway, Apple, of course, Apple. And I've now forgotten what the other one was. But essentially the concern that we've got is that we're homogenizing the way we work across all different levels, and there has to be a certain amount of consideration that takes place before we fully launch ourselves into that environment. And as developers of any kind of interactive media, any kind of platform, any kind of tool, we have to be aware of the consequences of increasingly funneling people into these systems that lock them in. So, yeah, I very much want to give you a couple of... can I come back to the screen? The slides? Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is a patent design from Apple from 6 years ago. And they were originally looking at, okay, how do we make more money from being able to integrate apps to shopping? So they looked at an app that connected to a shopping basket that basically would make your supermarket environment very much simpler. Of course, in doing that, what it does is it locks you into Apple, it locks you into certain supermarkets, and it pretty much locks you into certain products, because that's the way that the supermarket business works. So 6 years on, we still haven't really seen this reach any kind of a mainstream. But what we have seen is a great deal more social responsibility and decisions by individuals about whether or not they want to boycott certain brands and products. So at the moment, we have a number of different options in terms of apps that give us this opportunity. So there's boycott.com, goodonyou.org.au, ethical.org.au, and I'm sure a number of other ones. One of the things I've been thinking about, wouldn't it be cool if you had your own little tag that you put on your own shopping basket in whatever shop you happen to go into, where you can, basically it becomes a sort of social network thing as well. So you have a tag on your basket, you pick up a brand that is ethically naughty, and as you put it into your basket starts bleeping, and you're like, oh god, I don't want to buy that one. Okay, what about that one? And you could see other people around you who are also buying similar brands or choosing to not buy similar brands, and so you're actually creating that broader awareness of the relationship between your purchasing choice and other people's purchasing choice. So you're putting in some slightly subversive intervention-based technologies into this mix. This is a project, there's a short video to go with this one. This is, somebody was talking about demos earlier. This is a very different kind of a demo. As we're looking at our human rights abuses go up and our individual freedoms go down, we're beginning to lose the right to actually protest against these shifts. So this was, in Australia, you're not allowed to protest in Tasmania. They've just changed the law in New South Wales, and they've been working on changing the law in WA for quite some time now, and it's likely to go through, unfortunately. Hasn't happened here yet, but it's a precedent. This was in response to some similar anti-protest laws in Madrid last year. And it was basically, you're no longer allowed to be able to be on the streets and protest, but here's a space where you can submit your own protest video that then includes you in part of what they call a hologram march, but it's just really a projection on a screen. But anyway, so can we play the video on that? It's not very long.
What better way for the Spanish to challenge the anti-protest law, also known as the gag law, than with technology? The first hologram protest in the world's history was held Saturday in the Spanish capital, when thousands of people marched past the parliament in Madrid. Not physically though, but by the means of a hologram projected outside the building. The gag law prohibits anyone from protesting at any time without authorization. While many face the danger of being fined €30,000 when participating in unauthorized protests outside government buildings, it seems that with this hologram demonstration, a loophole has been found. Because how can you find a hologram? Despite the gag law being introduced last year, protests still occur almost every week in Spain. A day after the virtual demonstration, anarchists held an actual demonstration in the streets of Madrid, protesting against the latest police arrests.
So yeah, I'm interested in how we can use these sorts of technologies to give people more access to more rights, to more freedom of speech, to more audiences to be able to raise awareness about more issues. With things like that, I think that it would be amazing to have... I do a lot of travel. I live in a bus. So when I'm in a particular state, there may be a protest about something that's a very local concern for them, and I may not be aware of it because maybe I haven't been there before. Maybe I'm not part of those networks. But I'd love to have an environment where I can say, these are the causes that matter to me, and I will geolocate myself to that and say, okay, so I'm in Perth this weekend and there happens to be a protest about the anti-protest laws, so I want to go and be involved with that. But I've said that, I don't really want to be bothered by text message unless it's an absolute emergency, as in I only want to know about protests that are happening this afternoon by text message. Or I may want to say I'm interested in stuff information that's been released so that I can push it around social media to locative communities that I know in that particular area. So I'm interested in those sorts of ideas of being able to integrate empowerment through these technologies. Okay, so there should have been another slide before that. Yeah, okay. So one of the things about if a protest is illegal and then you upload a video of your identity, you've still got the risk of facial recognition technology being able to capture your identity and add you to a nice little ASIO tracking file. Pretty sure I've got one of those already. So looking at other ways that different people are responding to this kind of potential threat. And this is less about an Internet of Things output, and it's more about recognizing that a lot of the Internet of Things thinking can be switched around so that we respond in physical manners that aren't digital, but they're responding to digital environments. So this is an artist called Adam Harvey, who makes these intervention makeup and hair and costume designs. So they're designed specifically to break the ability of facial recognition systems to be able to map you. So it's just another idea to throw into the mix, that you don't need to be just looking at a kind of one-size-fits-all, we must create a tag that relates to an app that relates to the sale of a product. We can actually be working the other way around as well. And then, just to close on a nice little political quote from the wonderful Martin Luther King. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. So I would love for all of you to be thinking, yes, what can I make that could have big potential for development, but also in what ways does your work really matter? Who is it for? Who is it helping? And what is that actual help going to be? And how far can you take that, not just within the next day of development, but in all of the ways that you develop work and all of the ways that you interact with society? So that's my little political ranty action bit. I'm going to be around tomorrow. I'm quite happy to work with people to talk through ideas, to talk through different user-based communities, look at different kind of restrictions and opportunities that exist in different kind of social spaces, and how some of those social change spaces specifically work. And also, having done media arts for 20 years, total nerd, can totally talk through all kinds of ridiculous stuff. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Fee. Right, we're going to have a little break. We still need to work on some of the team stuff. We may continue some of the team stuff tomorrow, but we want to try and get some the people who are competing matched up with basic groups. So we're going to have a little break for that, and then I'll come back. We'll have a Q&A session. You can ask lots of questions. Free flow.
Thanks, Rob.
Okay. We've come to the Q&A section. I'm sure everyone has questions about what's this about, what little details, those sorts of things about this event. This event will be both as complicated as you want to make it and as simple, because this competition will be about ideas. So if you're feeling a little anxious, oh, this is a little bit too difficult, don't worry about that. And if you're thinking it's too simple, I think what we need to do in teams tomorrow is matching up those who are good coders with those who are good ideas people. I think some of you have settled on some groups, some of you haven't. That's okay, because what we'll do in the morning when we come in, if you haven't found someone to match up with, we'll just stick you with somebody. Is that okay with everyone? Yes? Yeah. Good-o. Right, so the Internet of Things is really just a buzzword. Any kind of machine, device, sensor, any kind of electrical thing, mechanical thing can be put onto the internet and monitored or controlled. The reason that we do that is that the internet has become quite ubiquitous. It's everywhere. We've got it on our phones, it's everywhere. So it's a very easy to use communication thing to control things. I was using those sorts of things with modems years ago. It's just about remote controlling something or monitoring something, monitoring temperature, monitoring air pressure, monitoring the speed of something, telling this thing to shut off at a certain time, all those sorts of things, showing fancy graphs, whatever's your fancy. It doesn't matter. It comes down to a thing, a refrigerator, a water filter, any kind of thing. We're looking for people to come up with ideas, things that might benefit people. It might be, last year I entered the Hackathon prize. I became a semi-finalist. I built a water harvesting device that took water from air and distilled it. So it was solar powered. I had a little Raspberry Pi in it. It would then run some Peltier coolers, cool some liquid, store it, and then run it at a better time when it could collect moisture from the air. And that was an Internet of Things. I didn't call it an Internet of Things, but it was an Internet of Things because I needed to be able to monitor it, to program it remotely, and it ended up being a weather station as well as a useful thing. So that benefits society because the idea was where you don't have clean water, you could set it up, solar power, and produce clean drinking water where there wasn't clean drinking water. So that was an idea. There's lots of those sorts of things that could do with a little bit of technology attached to it. It could be very, again, that water harvesting device is about 8,000 years old. It's not a new kind of device. But with modern technology, all of a sudden it becomes a lot more accessible and a lot more useful, a lot more modular, a lot more automated. So those are the sorts of things that you might want to think about. So at the end of the competition, people will be judged on the design. It might be a back of the envelope sketch. We think we could make X, Y, Z, and it will be monitored this way over the internet. You don't even have to use the technology that we put in front of you. That's just there to inspire you to do something. You might come up with some fabulous code and it'll do all these sorts of things and make you a cup of coffee as well. That's good too. So the winner will get some prizes. Everyone will get some gift. The IBM's got a lovely the entrepreneurial program that they've got. So for those who are really entrepreneurial inclined, they can go on to do other things. The minimum requirement for the competition is basically you write up your idea and you post it onto the Hackaday prize challenge. There's a picture, some description, what it does, blah, blah, blah. Now, as a team, you can go on and refine that later on, and you can win up to $300,000 if you get through to the finals. There are other prizes along that trip, but it does give you a nice rough guideline of what you need to put together by the end of tomorrow. So tomorrow morning when you come in, document it up, get your Hackaday logins, you set up a project, you can invite your team members to join in on that project. You'll have some picture or drawing or something, an overview of what it is, some details of what it is and how it works. And that's what we'll judge people on. So you can be really clever and have a bad idea and you won't win. And you can have a really dumb idea, but it's a really great idea, you might win. So, you know, that doesn't make sense, does it?
Bad implementation with a good idea, you could win.
Yes.
Or unfinished implementation with a good idea, and you're very likely to win.
Yes. So, is there any questions? Any question at all? Doesn't matter what it is. Yes.
Where are we meeting tomorrow?
Here. Here we'll be rearranging. Here it will be set up just for the teams to work. We'll have other tables in this space. There won't be the booze and alcohol, but there will be food and drink provided, but no alcohol.
What hardware?
Hardware. Does anyone have the current list of the hardware, Harry?
Yeah, so we've got some Raspberry Pi devices, series of different sensors, assortment of different sensors. We've got access to a load, in terms of the cloud services that come along with that as well. I don't have a list on the exact sensors we've got, but I can sort that out by the end of the night for you.
Which version of Raspberry Pi?
3B.
And next question?
Yeah. So onboard Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's it.
Sorry?
What time?
Where's my running sheet? I think it was 8:30. You rock up maybe.
8:30.
All right. So we'll be in here a little earlier setting up things, but teams arrive at 8:30. We'll help you set up your stuff. And at 9 o'clock we'll have this fellow here, Laurie. Is that Larry?
Larry?
The guy from Microsoft.
Oh, Liam.
Liam. Sorry, Liam.
Like the guy from Taken, but the actor in it. Like the guy's actual name.
Yeah, and he'll talk you through the technology and bits and bobs. And you will have volunteers to help you sign up to the Hackaday if you're having problems with that. Just getting you all set up. And at by 9 o'clock, we'll actually by 10 o'clock we'll actually start. You'll start on your own, working through, but there will be tech people to help you with questions. I'm an electronics guy. We'll have a coding guy. We'll have a Microsoft guy to answer any of your questions and give you support. Yeah.
So is there any activities, or it's just from 8:30 onwards?
From 10 o'clock onwards, hack shit. There's some breaks with drinks and lunch with something to eat. And at 4, we'll give you a call to say it's 4 o'clock, you need to start finalising your stuff. At 4:30, we'll start judging. Now, judging. Myself, we'll have Alison, Fee, and John, who you might have met. And we'll work through the as I described before, it'll be based on the Hackaday Design Challenge criteria.
Bring your own clipboards, soldering equipment and other things?
What's that?
Bring your own clipboards, soldering
You're allowed to bring anything you like. I think as long as you can get it through the door, that's fine. We don't have 3-phase power here, so you can't use anything.
Alright. A bit disappointed with that.
Right.
Probably needs to be tagged. We're still in the experimental phase, don't need a strategy proof.
Any other questions?
Do we have to use Raspberry Pi in our project?
That's what we'll be providing. If you want to bring something else along and you're a part of a team, you can use something else.
Pen and paper also works.
Yeah, well, as I said, you're not going to be able to really code up something really elaborate in a day activity. So really your teams are focusing on ideas and how you might implement that idea.
So how are the projects actually presented at the end of the day?
You'll fill in the Hackaday Challenge criteria. So
Online form?
Yep, it's an online form, really simple. Put up a couple of pictures, write up a title, write up a very brief summary about what it is. Put in the details, as much details as you like, because us judges will go through all those details and go, yeah, that's not going to fly, or yeah, that'll work. As best as to our knowledge, we reckon that'll work. It's a good idea. You've thought about it, and of everyone who's entered, the winning one will be the best quality of that criteria.
Judged off that form?
Sorry?
Judged off that form, or is there any other available?
We'll be wanting each team to present their ideas. So the form's just a guide, yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be like a pitch or a presentation?
We're not looking for a hardcore presentation. Just telling us about what your project is and does.
Come around to the table.
Yes.
To get that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you don't. Don't get anxious about doing PowerPoint, blah blah blah, and acting and all that kind of stuff. We don't go for that here.
We have a PowerPoint.
Yep. She's special. All right, if there isn't any more questions, we'll wrap it up. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.